Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to the BOF podcast. That's right, Batman-on-film.com zone. Very podcast. I am the host, Ryan Lauer, and with me is my Boudin chef himself, Peter Verra. Peter, hello.
Hello.
Sadly, Bill Jet Ramey cannot be with us for this episode. He wanted to be, but fun fact, this guy, he's gone out to Las Vegas to see one Sir Sammy Hagar, Pete. And fun fact for Bill, he just left for Vegas. When we hit record, he'll be back home by the time we're done talking. That's how fast this guy travels. He can't drive 55, okay?
Bill only travels red eye.
That's right. That's right. So he'll be back fully energized, and then I'm sure he would have had some opinions to share that we're about to talk about. Because, Pete, you and I are going to talk about the not talked about enough Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, because 10 years. The week this drops, 10 years this week since that movie has come out. And I said like a while ago to you of like, Pete, I think that could make a pretty fun discussion between you and I, not one for us to do nothing but praise or for us to just do nothing but dump on, but let's have let's hit it from all angles. Let's talk about the movie. It's warts, it's positives, it's negatives, because it's 10 years, but it feels like this has not stopped being a point of discussion for fandom for 10 years.
I can't believe it's 10 years.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird in a way because, we've moved on as fans in a way. Some of us.
Yes.
The studio has moved on. There's different visions. Now there's new arguments to talk about. BVS still stays relevant, but there are new Batman arguments to be had right now. So
Sure.
it is kind of being, we've got to revive it, Ryan. We've got to revive the BVS banter. And that's exactly what we're here to do as the BOF Zaddies.
This is going to be the spark that lights the fire to restore the Snyderverse. I guarantee
Paramount
that's
has heard us. They were waiting. It's Paramount now. It's not Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix never listened to us, but Paramount will.
Yes.
So, you said it's hard to believe 10 years. You and I were both knocking on 30 when this movie came out. We were just
kind of in the beginning of our BOF tenure as well.
I hadn't written for BOF yet. I hadn't met Bill. I was just a nobody that emailed every once in a while.
So starting. So it was we joined at the right time.
Yeah, the following year is when I started writing reviews. Okay. So, going back to that March of 2016, Pete, for you as Batman fan, do you remember what your hype level was for the movie? Like, what were your thoughts going into it?
Max hype. Oh, so hyped. Probably haven't been. Probably the next time I was that hyped was probably Batman Fandom.
Oh yeah,
that's probably But going into BVS, ridiculously hyped, like on Monster, Red Bull, and Blow. Just like that's how excited I was going.
Monster, Red Bull, and Blow. That's Pete's wild nights.
That's what. Jeez. So just going into it, just really excited. Because mostly because it was at the start of a new Batman. Bale and Nolan have ended. I accepted that. I moved on. This was supposed to be the next 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I was going to ask, is like what was the most like exciting thing for you then about the movie itself? And it just seems like we're getting our next iteration of Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the passing of the torch, right?
Yeah. And I'm trying to. I didn't go back and listen to when Bill and I did the BOF Chronicles, and we did a whole episode on Batman versus
Hmm.
Superman. But it was more about Bill. But of course, I chimed in a little bit. Um, I do. I don't remember what all I said on that one, so I don't want to repeat myself. But I mean, he and I recorded that like 4 years ago. Uh, I didn't reach. I knew that I wasn't as hyped for BBS as I was for Dark Knight Trilogy. Didn't mean I wasn't looking forward to it. I do remember thinking of like I'm not as excited. I'm not feeling that like I can't wait. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't hurry up and
Right.
see this movie. I was very intrigued by Affleck as Batman. And of course, like we're Batman fans, so of course that's going to be the element of the movie that we're probably all the most excited about is
Hmm.
and we got our looks of this Batman and how he was different. I was accepting of it's going to be different than what we just seen with Bale. I wanted it different from Bale. I didn't want him to try and do the same thing. Um, but I mean, I was still looking forward to it. I mean, Batman's on there. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to buy it. Like I'm that much in, even 10 years ago.
Batman fan likes doing Batman things.
Yes.
Shocking.
Surprising.
Shocker.
Yeah. So then let's see, when did you see it? And yeah, first of all, when did you see it?
As soon as I could. Whatever the first viewing that would, like I forget what was it like. I guess it was when the movie came out, the 16th of March. Was that
No,
what
I
was?
thought it was like the 25th. If you give me just a second, I'll look it up.
I mean, whatever the first possible viewing was, I saw it. I mean, I've told you, like, I remember it's so funny because, like, I was reading reviews and stuff, and you
25th,
know,
March 25th.
March 25th. So,
That'd have
like,
been the
yeah, so
Friday, so they had Thursday evening showings.
yeah, so whatever the date was, that's what it was.
Okay.
So, like, but I remember reading reviews online and kind of getting scared because they were kind of trashing the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was just, because I saw it in the evening, so all the earlier screenings and reviewers saw it,
Yeah.
and it wasn't getting reviewed well, and it was just it was kind of rough going into it. And then I remember leaving my theater, and my theater was like my theater was jazzed.
Yeah.
They were
Nice.
screaming, "F the critics!" It was crazy. I was like, they're really doing this. But yeah, so like coming out of the movie, it was a very positive experience. Like everyone
Yeah.
seemed really hyped for it. Like you got a really good ovation at the end,
Yeah.
and then to get home, and then the next 2 days, just realize like most people hate this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So,
so funny because I'm like, I left the theater so positive, and then I woke up the next morning and I started reading the internet,
yeah.
and it was just miserable. It was just, it just took a nosedive. So
Yeah.
that was interesting,
So,
personally.
so I remember I saw it with my lady and then a couple friends at the
Mhm.
midnight showing. So that'd have been, Thursday at midnight or whatever. That was like the latest
Yeah.
because they started at that point, they were doing earlier showings of movies, at like 7 and 8, but we worked second shift. So I remember seeing Bill's review because I remember I was at work and somebody came up to me and was like, man, this is not looking good. And it made me a little nervous. And I saw Bill's review, and Bill's review wasn't very good. He didn't,
No, I remember reading the end of his review thinking he didn't like
I don't know if it
this.
was a C or a C plus, one of the two. He had good things to say about Batman. I'm like, okay, at least that's what I'm here for is the Batman stuff. And he had good things to say about Batman. So I was like, there's gonna be at least that, okay? Phew. And I mean, the theater it had quite a few showings up before midnight, so our theater wasn't very packed. Um,
Okay.
but I remember the group that we had with us. It's like I couldn't read them. There was
Mhm.
one friend that was pretty nerdy. My lady and his lady were both like,
You
kind
sound so
so-so,
medieval when you do that, milady.
my lady. And then the other friend I didn't know him. And I just remember when I got home that we were walking inside and I asked her, I go, so what'd you think? And it's like she took a couple seconds and she goes, and it's like it's funny because I can picture it. Because I've talked to Bill about this on here a lot, that she's the general audience barometer for
Mhm.
me sometimes if like you're going into a movie like you haven't seen any trailers or nothing and I switched think and she waited she goes I liked it but I wouldn't recommend it and I was
Interesting.
like wow that's an interesting
Mhm.
response and then we didn't dissect the movie or anything we just like left it at that and then we continued on that weekend I saw it 4 times in total. How many did you see it that weekend?
I don't know how many times I saw it that weekend. Overall, I saw it 7 times.
7 times in the theater. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I scored tickets before the Ultimate Edition released digitally. The night before, there was screenings and there were free tickets for the Ultimate Edition in a theater, and I scored one of those. And that was like only supporters in that theater and
Mhm.
stuff. But that
Mhm.
opening weekend, it was very interesting to me because it was split of half seemed really into it, half were pretty quiet and kind of unresponsive. And I saw during the day, I saw evening showings like scattered too. And the half that were into it, Wonder Woman's theme when she showed up, there were claps, there was like response, and then
Yeah.
the other half was just dead silent. And I'm like, this is wild to me. Like I'm getting both sides of
Mhm.
this in my viewings. And so of course I was just like, man, I came out of it liking it. Um I didn't love it. I know I didn't love it the first viewing. I didn't love it by the end of the weekend. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And I think I was probably like, I think that's probably like a B for me. And how'd you come out of it?
I was hyped
Yeah.
because not necessarily because of the movie, but it was the potential Affleck like continuation.
Yes.
Like I think that for me, it wasn't always just, BVS was cool and I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Actually kind of soured on it as I get older, which I feel like I kind of realized some things are more true than I thought. Yeah,
Oh, I'll get
yeah,
there.
probably just becoming more of an elderly fan, honestly. But like, I was always very positive on it, but it was always the potential of, okay, well, after this, Affleck's going to show us what Batman's all
Yeah.
about. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
that's really where my head was at.
Yeah.
I think for me, the movie put Batman in a decent enough place going forward where I was very interested in what he was going to do. Being a Batman fan first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
So even that's kind of how I always looked at it. I guess that probably isn't how they look at it as a business because it's like,
Sure.
well, he was in this movie and it didn't do what we wanted it to do, even though it made a ton of money.
No, and
Um,
I saw a lot of, and then, talking with some people too of like, man, that's the best Batman ever. That could be that's, I think he's the best Batman ever, best blah blah blah. And I'm like, I've got
it
to
could have
see him
been.
in his own movie before I can really put him so high. I don't have complaints,
It's
but
just strange because it's really like there's like three movies of Affleck being Batman, and
mhm,
you're just like it's still not enough
not
because
enough.
it's
He
he's
needs one of
fighting
his.
out
It's his
because he's not
own.
fighting a Batman villain. He's
Yeah.
fighting mostly Superman villains.
Yep.
Parademons. Darkseid, Lex Luthor. Right? Like it's
Yeah.
Steppenwolf. They're all Superman villains. So like that's where Affleck's Batman always takes a hit for me as well.
I agree. I mean,
You know
more specifically,
the
then I
cl-
guess. No, go
it
ahead. Go ahead.
was Suicide Squad and Snyder Cut
Hmm.
Nightmare Scene are basically the most Batman interaction, and there's a little bit in Justice League with Gordon, but like there's not much,
Yeah.
you know, outside of the obvious Alfred stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, you kind of. Is there anything else? I guess let's just say this interpretation, so Zack Snyder's interpretation of Batman and Bruce Wayne in
Mhm.
this movie, how were they, and then have they changed since? Just in
Oh,
this
I love
movie.
it. I
Yeah.
still have Affleck as Batman as Bruce Wayne. I love, like from Night Shoes to Came to Drink You Dry, they were hunters. Like I think him as Bruce Wayne, there's sometimes he delivers the lines. And I'm like, man, he's just that's like, and obviously from a physical standpoint, he's perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Hmm.
He fits the bill. He crushes it each time. I mean, and then his Batman, I think is there's only a few instances where I don't like necessarily his Batman necessarily looks.
Yeah.
Like, but outside of that, like his performance is top notch.
Hmm.
Sometimes the suit looks a little funky, or Snyder put him in, like, I don't know, like in the beginning where he puts him in the ceiling and then he just runs across the ceiling like a rat.
That was different. Yeah,
I
that
always thought
was
that was weird. That
huh.
that again, that's like a knock I have, but it's not really Affleck's fault.
Yeah, that's
Um,
not something I've always wanted is Batman crawling on a ceiling like a
yeah, I just
rat.
thought
I'm
that was
like,
weird.
that's
That just
Spider-Man.
felt a little, yeah. I remember, but yeah, Affleck is just incredible. He really is,
Yeah.
and it's a shame we never got more out of it, to
Hmm.
be honest, because I think there's potential there for something fantastic. We got the tip of the iceberg, and that was it.
Well, when Paramount listens to us, Pete, we're gonna get that
Yeah,
solo
we'll
Batman.
get the AI Batfleck.
Yes.
That's
It'll be
what we'll get.
flawless.
Yes,
Flawless. I remember
Batman
thinking
Deathstroke.
he was
And
really,
even so, like everyone wants this Affleck Deathstroke thing, right? But it's
yeah.
like that's a Dick Grayson villain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me a good old
Sorry.
Batman villain. Yeah. I remember from what I can remember in Bill's review, he'd said almost like a pill popping, like a alcohol drinking Batman or whatnot, and I
Yeah, I mean, that's one
that didn't
scene.
bother me, you
Yeah.
know, and he wasn't the only one that I saw that either, and there's
I mean, there's definitely mature elements in the movie. I mean,
exactly
Lois is naked.
it might be the most mature Batman movie,
Yeah.
like live action Batman and Batman movie. And I think that
And
still holds
Superman as
true.
well. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. And I think Affleck did a great. I'm still like I just rewatched it. I know you just rewatched it too,
Hmm.
and I don't have in Batman vs Superman. I don't think I have any cringe moments when it comes to Batman or Affleck.
No.
I thought he did. I just thought it. I thought it was really good. The topic that really comes up that everybody still talks about is Batman kills in this one. And
Yeah, it's
I'm
just,
just like, I don't know. I'm like, did you guys watch 89? Because he blew up, you know,
returns. Yeah.
like the Batmobile comes out and that great, and it drops a bomb when it's surrounded
Also,
by
like,
Joker goons
let's
and
be
the whole thing
honest.
blows up. It's like Batman's been killing, even though it's not like
In Dark Knight
ruthless
trilogy,
murder.
we don't know if there's anybody sleeping in those cars as Batman's like tearing through that mall parking lot,
Yeah,
right? On the
it's
on the Batpod. Like, how many times have you fallen asleep in your car? I
yeah.
was like, I probably would have died.
So
But
the
I
kill
don't know.
part
We'll
doesn't.
suspend belief.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
try. I obviously I prefer my Batman not to kill,
If
but
Batman
like
walked up and grabbed a
sometimes in
batarang
these action movies,
and
you know,
slit a neck, then I'd be like, hey,
yeah, that's one thing.
whoa.
I mean,
But
it's not like he
this
shoved a bomb in a fat guy's pants and threw him down a sewer.
like he branding the one guy like at the our
The
introduction to
branding thing
this
was weird.
it yes I'm like that's weird. I also don't feel in a sense like we should show sympathy to the dude that
Mhm,
has a bunch of women locked in cages like
mhm.
in the basement like um
I do. The
it
only real like knock on Batman and the Batman storyline in this movie is I don't know if the dream sequences came out as strong as they were hoping.
no their confusion
Yeah, I think that I don't think a lot of people got them, especially when he gets all Desert Eagle, right? And he turns
yeah
into Mad Max.
when you know that you're gonna get to pay off something like nothing
Yeah.
like absolute guarantee an absolute certainty like
Oh, it's a great line, by the way.
then I think it's okay. It's not an absolute that they're gonna get to pay off the
Hmm.
nightmare because it's not like it wasn't even paid off in the next movie. So
No, well, he couldn't. They took it out. They trimmed it down, So like
exactly.
you're right.
So
There is no guarantee. There is
so
no tomorrow.
yeah, and so therefore it is. I don't know. There's something to be said when it comes to Easter eggs that'll be paid off later and blah blah blah. Like people are
Hmm.
still saying, five dead, two of them cops in the Dark Knight, and that wasn't paid
I,
off in
I
Rises.
I agree.
So
That's my
like
one question. It never gets
it
an
was.
answer.
I mean, more confidence they were going to get a follow up there than here, but
But here's the thing, I guess fans, do we make that stuff up? Like, were we expecting a payoff to something that really wasn't ever going to have a payoff? Was it just a throwaway line that we just made a big deal out of? I don't know. Like when
I
you
don't
think about
know.
it,
I
I've started to wonder that myself. Like, did we just think too much of that line as fans?
I don't think so. I'd point
Okay.
it to like it's a part of dialogue at the end of like right before you're about to end the movie and Gordon's saying this and you're that's sort of like okay there's five people dead and then I think like a lot of people watching that won't just be like okay five dead and then just move on. It's like who all did he kill? Yeah, this and then you start and then it starts to become a little fuzzy of well who which just slides to this point too of like it wasn't clear that that was the Flash that saw Bruce
Yeah,
that Bruce
my buddy
saw.
of mine was like, "Who was that?"
I remember following a dad and his kid out of one of the screenings even, and the kid was asking his dad like, "Dad, who was that?" And he goes, "That was the Flash." And he's like, "That was the Flash?" And there's I think things that are extremely obvious you can say to someone like, "Oh, you missed it." But I think some things has to be you got to know when you see Batman that that's Batman.
Mhm.
When you see Wonder Woman that that's
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. Like and it
Well, he
wasn't
did that with
clear
Wonder Woman. He did do that with Wonder Woman.
which part.
When I'm just saying when she came out,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, dude, yeah,"
Yeah.
like
You're like high
that's
fiving,
universal.
kicking seats. Ah,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
I mean, to be honest, the opening dream sequence of the Wayne murders is like when Bruce Wayne starts flying. That was when I got really concerned. That's what
Dude,
my first concern. I was like,
my
it's
oh,
funny because like if the movie starts and you're like, "Oh, this is really good." Like, all right, I'm into this, Zach. Okay, let's see what you. I like what you did with the pearls.
love
What
the
you did with
look,
Morgan, and
the
yeah,
vibe.
I was really. And then all of a sudden, like he starts floating, and I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." That
Yes.
was and then I was like, but after that, I thought it kind of leveled out because it went into like, the chase through Metropolis.
Yeah.
But like at that moment, I was like, oh no,
Well,
this is
the
a dream,
what some
a
people
beautiful
I think
lie.
didn't catch. Yeah, they didn't catch that right there that he said, even though he says it very clearly up there in the dream, because I think it was like a what to that where they missed his dialogue saying in the
Mhm.
dream to me implying in my dream I was lifted by bats. But I remember it was my fourth viewing that I went with two friends, and the one is a I've seen a lot of Batman movies with, and I can see it now too. When he started rising with those bats, it was like a slow motion. His head turned to me and his jaw dropped, and he's like, "What?" And I go, "Hold on, hold on, hold on." And then he said it was a dream. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." But then it's funny too that those two friends are the superhero friends I've seen stuff with, and they
Mhm.
don't bring this movie up to me ever. Not like coming out, not at all, which it usually always implies to me I know their vibe with it.
Mhm.
But like you said, then like maybe one of the most Bruce Wayne things ever of the Metropolis thing. I think that is a great scene to get us to help.
Jack,
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah, to help with this, I think what's important for this movie, is to see that it's Bruce Wayne, Batman, clashing with Superman,
Mhm.
sort of deal. And Snyder I think, did a good job in the sense of like at the beginning of getting us rooting for like being on the side of this Bruce Wayne rather than he's a flat out like bad guy. We don't like him. If you're supposed to, then Snyder failed because I was rooting for Batman the whole time. But I think the movie as a whole, I'll always say I don't think the movie as a whole deserves the extreme reactions that it gets on both ends of the spectrum. I don't think it's an abomination to superhero movies or Batman or Superman. I don't like that's just being hyperbolic. I also don't think this is the greatest superhero movie ever made. It's the best Batman ever. It's the best Superman ever. It's the best. That's too extreme. I think it is in a varying spot somewhere in the middle. For me, I say I think it's good, but it has flaws, and I understand why
Yeah.
people don't like it.
I, like a lot of what I like about the movie is Batman. A
Yes,
lot of what I don't like, I feel like all of Batman's motivations throughout the movie are consistent and in line with, how cynical the character is.
I agree.
I feel like Superman's motivations towards Batman are just all over the place,
Hmm.
right? I almost feel like they're almost not clearly defined or thrown out there. They're supposed to like hinted at, it's, and it's like a lot of the Superman stuff, looking back at it now, like I kind of don't like I don't like Perry White in this movie. I think Perry White's kind of an asshole to Clark Kent throughout the entire movie
Do
for
you
whatever
ever
reason.
watch theatrical, or do you watch Ultimate?
Ultimate. I
Okay.
watch Ultimate.
The last theatrical I saw was that fourth viewing in theater. I don't think I've
Mm.
watched theatrical since. It's always been the Ultimate
Yeah.
Edition. I do think that's
Yeah.
better. I also don't think that's a game changer. I think the Ultimate Edition raises you from a C to a C plus, a B to a B. Like, I don't think it's, well, I didn't like it, but that Ultimate Edition. Oh my God, Pete, it's a whole different movie. It's amazing. A plus. I don't think it's that. And I don't think someone's being genuine if that's what they try to say. But the Ultimate Edition did patch some of the threads a little bit, I think,
Hmm.
compared to theatrical. But I'm with you on. I think that's a really good point. Batman is consistent. I think Superman's sadly is the weak point because I don't know. I can see where Batman comes from. I can't so much see that where Superman be fully
Yeah.
on board with where he's
It
coming
seems like
from.
he's the only person who cares about Batman and Gotham. Like everyone's just so used to it. It's like, it's at times it seems like Perry White's like, you're new here. This is just that's Gotham. Like nobody cares. That's what it is. Like, what are you making a
Yeah.
big deal out of for? And Clark's, no, 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 no. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's just funny. It's like, I don't know. Like I feel like Superman's motivations are just not as strong as Batman's
Well,
until
and then he just
until you get to the
jumps.
fight.
Batman's chasing bad guys, and Superman, basically becomes takes out the Batmobile and is just like
Mhm.
bury it. Next time you see the signal, blah blah blah. And he's just like, I don't like you, Batman. Even though Batman was going after the bad guys, Luther's
Yeah,
bad
that
guys.
scene's still awesome. I
And
also
then
like. I think it's great how Luther. Now that you've watched the movie, Luther orchestrated this whole thing, like even to the point where it is like, oh, I love bringing people together. Where jokes, sometimes like Eisenberg's
I
Lex Luthor turns into
uh,
Mickey Mouse.
oh man,
Oh, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent. Oh, you should not pick a fight with this person. And I don't mind it because, like, to be brutally
I
honest,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
up until Gunn's Lex Luthor, this is the most accurate Lex Luthor we've ever gotten. He's not some crazy real estate
Dude,
agent.
I love this Lex. I don't
I don't hate
understand.
it. I like it's Cherry. I don't mind it at all.
God, that got
There's some parts
giggles
where he's a
in
little
like
weird.
every screening that I
Oh
had,
wow.
especially pushing it right into his mouth.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
and I think the best, what do you want to say, part for this Lex is when he's speaking at the party, and
I
he
love when
trips
he talks
over
about
and
Zeus and Wonder Woman rolls her eyes. That's great.
yes, and
Thunderbolt.
to me, it's like that is a bit of like he's almost too smart for his own good. That shows a true Lex that I
It's like his mind is just constantly moving, and
yes.
honestly, his tongue can't keep up.
And he starts to show, I think, the jealousy of Superman, and whatever he
Mhm.
says. If a man is all powerful, he can't be all good, and if he's all good, he can't be all powerful. Like I really love that line, and that's his perception of
There's certain
Superman.
parts in that rooftop scene where he's like a little extra wacky, which I can't, but like there's parts he's over the top, but he's over the top the whole
I don't know.
time.
It worked. It just totally worked for
More
me.
often than not, it does work for me. I do enjoy it,
I like this Lex a lot, and I think that's one that's who
especially
I've
in Ultimate
talked
Edition when he's
to.
hanging out in the Ooks's jizz with a Steppenwolf, and they're just serenading each
Okay,
other.
my mind was going to. Did you see a deleted scene that I didn't see? What are you talking? Okay, never mind. I got
Well,
you.
technically, it
Yeah.
is a deleted scene we didn't
I
see, but
mean,
yes,
it is.
that's,
Uh,
hey, that's what it is.
but I
And
feel okay.
as the leader in
You
Ooks's
heard it here
fandom, I can say
first.
that.
Pete's got the inside scoop on real terms of this movie. But I mean, what I've come across and people I've talked to is, it is about split for me of what I've read and people I've talked to that like Lex and don't like this Lex. I'm a big fan of him. I don't think that there's casting issues in this movie. I honestly think, and we'll get to some like positives and
I
maybe
heard
more
a
negatives.
rumor once that they wanted Eisenberg as Olsen, but then they were like, we don't want to kill him, so they gave him Lex. I don't know how true
I
that
don't
is.
remember where I read that, but I heard that as well. Heard
Okay.
it, read it, something. Yeah, so you're not making that part up. Um, I think that the movie overall, I think, is clunky because, and I've thought about
Yeah.
this a lot over 10 years, and it's not exactly if you were to go and tell somebody of like, what's the plot for Batman versus Superman? I know what the title says, but what's the plot? What does it mean? It's like, well, uh, Superman he gets involved in this Middle East conflict that then he's kind of split. Some people like him, some people don't.
Sounds
And
like James
Batman's in
Gunn.
Gotham, and then Batman, he's branding some people, and you're already starting to get to like, hold on a second, what is this movie about? Like, what's the plot? Whereas you can say
Mhm.
Dark Knight is like Batman's trying to stop Joker in Gotham City. Like Dark Knight Rises is Batman's
Yeah.
broken and Bane is taking over. Like it's
Well, this movie is simultaneously trying to jumpstart an
yeah,
entire
and it didn't help with its
DC
marketing.
universe.
Its marketing's been talked about for 10 years. The one, and just watched the trailers over again because that one trailer is like 2.5, 3 minutes,
Dude,
and
those trailers were so
two
good.
two
They were
minutes. They're
so good.
great trailers, but 2 minutes
Great
of
trailers.
Batman versus Superman. Boom, here's Doomsday, and now Batman and Superman are talking to each other and their friends to fight. I'm like, why is that in one trailer? You've just said you like that is was the confusion
Hmm.
in watching these of like this is a confusing trailer.
Well,
And then they released
I
the
don't know
last
if it was
trailer,
a
which was
writer's thing.
the Batman trailer, which is a kick-ass Batman trailer, which gave away a ton of the and Martha rescue, and that's what Richard Citrone, the stunt
Hmm.
Ben Affleck, who did a lot in that scene, calls it is the Martha rescue. That a lot of that was in that last trailer, which was really like holy shit, like that got me to another level of amped because I'm like if they're showing me
Yeah.
this what aren't they showing me? And it's like, well, actually, they've kind of shown you most of what you're going to get with this Batman.
Yeah, yeah, that's what, when you get one of those highlight tape trailers, it's great because you're like, as a fan, you get you really excited. But is that everything?
Yeah. Yep.
Are those the highlights?
Yeah.
I do feel like the movie, like you mentioned, clunky. I don't know if it's a writer thing because I remember one point, like writers shifted, and then Terrio was brought on board when Affleck got more control, and I know he rewrote some of the more pretentious dialogue.
Because
You
that's right.
know,
Goyer was on it first.
yeah, and remember back then the movie had more of an more older Batman who was using bat drones, and Gordon was dead. Remember
I'm glad they didn't go that route.
yeah, that was I was interested in that, because it's very different from Dark Knight trilogy, and at that
Yeah,
point you got to
I
try to
don't,
do something different.
but the drones
But
aspect would have got me very like,
yeah,
ugh.
I don't know. It does kind of get crazy in the third act. Like, one of the more iconic lines from the movie, like, "Is she with you? I thought she was with you." Like,
Yeah.
it almost doesn't make sense because it's like, well, Batman kind of invited her. You sent her an email. Like,
We were email
that,
buddies.
yeah, he sent her the email with the links and all the videos, which I think is, again, that was probably one of the more, when people are like, "Oh, you hate cameos." I'm like, no, I hate like forced BS. And
Yes.
I think the email scene was a BS scene. I think that was way too, hey, look, Justice League's coming.
Yeah.
Um, so, I think it gets a little weird there, especially at the end with Lois too in the spear. Like, I don't know, like, what was
She
Lois
runs,
doing?
she throws the spear away, then she
Yeah,
goes and grabs it, and then she
yeah,
throws it in water, and then tries to get it, and then almost drowns. Yeah, it was like, we don't know what to do with her here, and I
yeah.
think
She's
that
just running around with
still
a spear at the third act.
doesn't get any better. Didn't I thought it was
Yeah.
messy from the first viewing, and now here, and I think that the biggest one that people will want to make fun of, it's still being made fun of, is the Martha moment,
I actually
mentioning
think that
Marla.
still holds up for me. That doesn't bother me. I get
I
that.
I like the point. I don't think it was fleshed out well. I I I think
Well,
and I'm not
probably
a
because the floating Bruce Wayne ruins the tease in the beginning of the movie, the
maybe,
foreshadowing.
but I don't think it's a bad point to come to, and what I think the movie's trying to get at for Batman's storyline. It's just, I mean, it's clunky. I think it's
Yeah.
clunky
That's what I'm saying. Like,
fleshing it out.
is that because there were so many writers on board with this that there's no
I
real.
think I don't know. I
Well, it
think
is
it
in Zack Snyder's tone. There were other guys who had their hands on this. Like Terrio wasn't there
yeah,
for the whole thing.
yeah, but I think that the director gets the final say.
Yeah.
And so I don't, if it doesn't come through, then I think that then goes to the director.
Mm.
And I don't know. I think that's one that I'm like, I don't think it deserves the let's take a big dump on it because that's the cool thing to do. Which I think a lot of dumping on BVS is just trying to get someone's attention. And but that's not me defending it either. I'm like, there's a way here that would have been smoother. But that doesn't mean that come that moment in the movie, if somebody didn't like it and they did that part better, all of a sudden it would change the whole movie for that person. I think at that point, people were in or they were out. There wasn't, they were digging the movie or they
It,
weren't.
they took some big swings. They were very ambitious. I just think they bit off more than they could chew.
Yes, they I think
That's really
tried to
what it
do
comes
too
down
much,
to.
which
Yeah.
is, I think that
It had to
becomes
be a
a
little bit more. It was more Batman v Superman, less Justice League setup. I think it would have been fine. Even like I don't
yes.
know, like even Wonder Woman, like as great as she is, and I love the Gordian knot. Like I love
Uh-huh.
that whole scene, everything with Bruce Wayne, and it's fake. But like, was Wonder Woman even necessary for this?
No.
Like
And I think she's great. I love
yeah,
the
I
music,
do.
the
Like
way she enters the movie, all
it's
the
almost like Wonder Woman basically is there to kill Superman. Like she cuts off Doomsday's hand, which creates the spike, which then stabs Superman in the heart.
You know what? Game changer. Never thought of it that way, Pete. So,
Like
hey,
just
thanks.
and just to be a whack job about it. Like what is Wonder Woman doing? And she looks great, by the way, in all footage. Like as Wonder Woman, as Diana Prince in her red dress, looking insecure. Like Gal Gadot's never looked sexier in her life than she did in BVS. Like probably
I
not until
I
that Wonder Woman 1984 scene with the white gown. Those are probably her best Wonder Woman looks ever, in my opinion.
Well, like what you're saying, I think that there's definitely merit to that in when Snyder was on Josh Horowitz's podcast, Happy Sad Confused, and he even talked about that. And it
Mhm.
was just going to be Batman v Superman. And it was more of a studio mandate if they want that subline. They want
Yeah, I get it.
Justice
I
League's
believe it.
coming. And it was, and I don't remember what he followed up with on like almost like okay, you can get that, and then I want this. I think that's kind of how it was starting to work. And I'm with you on you take out the Wonder Woman, which I mean, Bill said this in his review that he first released on the movie of, like she was good. I think you can cut her out of the movie and it wouldn't be missed like in the movie.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. it wouldn't affect Batman and Superman's motivations or anything. The Justice League teases were so like Jason Momoa got an action figure out of his 13 seconds on
Which
it.
it's also like my favorite Aquaman action figure that they released for the
Oh yeah,
DCEU. So like, thank you.
nice.
Yeah. No, it's great. He
Thank
looks
you,
like
Zack Snyder
he
from
looks
Peter
like
Verra.
yeah, he looks like Peter David's Aquaman without the hook. He's got two hands. Like it's a great action figure. I love it. I'm very thankful for it. Didn't need to be in the movie.
Nice. Um, but I mean that takes it down. It helps make the movie be a little. I think it helps it make it a little bit more clear. You know, I mean, what more do you
Well,
need if
that
you're
and it's
putting
like
Batman and
remember
Superman in
that.
the movie for the first time ever? That's all you need. You don't need
Mhm.
anything else other than
Well, you
that.
cut that stuff. You can probably cut a half hour of the movie, which was
Yeah.
a problem. So
Yep.
now you're cutting, like so you kind of probably so you can get your 2.5 hour movie and your
Hmm.
main theaters and everyone's happy. I don't know. Just I understand. Like look, Zack Snyder did what he had to do, right? They
Hmm.
gave him a job. He did it. It didn't work, unfortunately. But like he wasn't going to say no. Like let's be honest. It's
Yeah.
like they're like we need this. And he's probably like, hell yeah, let's go,
You're
baby.
giving me
I
more
mean, yeah.
toys? Yes,
Exactly. Like,
please.
oh yeah. Oh wait, I can use a Justice League too.
Yeah.
Sure, that's not what you want. I'll do that. So,
And I do like
uh,
to like I do
bummer.
think in the end of I as one did it bother you that this was going to be Batman with other DC characters?
No, because I haven't seen it before in live action. Really,
Exactly. That's
I
how
was all
I
for
felt.
it.
And I don't think Batman showing up with other DC characters can't be done because this which people would still argue that this was successful. I disagree. I think financially it ended up
It
covering
made
its
money,
yeah,
right, to an extent, I
it
guess.
covered its spending
Mhm.
after it, which was what we're not talking about. I think that then isn't true. But for this movie, it covered its butts with the money. Um, but I don't,
I
that
just it
didn't
didn't set it
bother
up for
me.
a franchise, really, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
bottom line.
Yeah. And
The future was
I don't,
sketchy. Obviously, look what happened with Justice League. Like
yeah,
literally, like I think Justice League began production a month later.
it did.
Look what happened with that
Not
thing,
even, not even a
right?
month.
Like you
So,
just looking back at the DCEU, like, and this is the first movie in the DCEU. Let's be honest. Like retroactively, it's Man of Steel, but this is the first one. Like
um,
I think Man of Steel was made with the sole intention of making a sequel to Superman, and then I feel like Avengers money got them really excited,
hmm.
and they
I
were
mean,
like,
that's
oh,
fair. Not like I'm going to sit
it
here and really dig my heels and be like, no,
was
Peter, you're wrong.
I don't know, like, right? Because it's like they did this, they fast, and what was the next one? Suicide Squad and Justice League. It was basically three ensemble movies back to back to back. Like they were trying to jumpstart this thing fast. They wanted their money.
Yeah, and only
Um,
because it eventually it didn't. As we always see, the opening weekend, it was the interest was there. It just
yeah,
like apparently
there's
it
repeat
didn't win
viewings.
for the masses because it had a massive drop, which
Yeah,
is very telling. Um,
it's like everybody was interested and wanted to see it. They saw it once, and that was good.
yeah,
It wasn't. They were like, oh, well, I can't wait to see that again. Like everybody saw it, but they saw it once.
funny to note. So my parents did not see this. I don't think they had much interest, but they ended up watching Zack Snyder's Justice League and they liked it. Really made me scratch
I
my
mean,
head a little bit. Like, huh,
Snyder Cut's
it's
good.
interesting.
I just that
That's funny.
fandom ruined things for me for a
Ooh, we're gonna
while.
get to fandom. Um, so with this, okay, so we kind of talked about. Do you have like a something like your biggest? I don't even like to say problem because in the end, these are movies. Like you and
Your
I
biggest
have
like
real
critique of a
lives with
film.
real things.
Mhm.
But if we think of BVS and it's like, yeah, what's your biggest problem, Ryan? What's your biggest issue that you'll have with it? Well, Pete, what's your biggest issue that you'd have with the movie?
For me, like at this point now, just coming off, and this is just coming off watching it yesterday. Like it's just Superman's motivation. Like, what is
Yeah.
Superman really doing? What is his problem? Um, that's really it.
Okay.
I don't really have any real issues. The writing's a little clunky, especially towards the end.
Hmm.
Like I said, we just talked about is like, what is Lois doing?
Yeah.
There's some weird. Everything I really have an issue with is Superman related. Perry White's dick. Um, you know,
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
What'd you think of
I,
Doomsday?
it wasn't his best look. I
Yeah.
wish they gave him more, rocks around the eyes and everything. I don't like, again, super related. I don't like how Doomsday flies. I don't mind the fact that Doomsday actually came from Zod. I thought that was pretty interesting, but like,
Yeah.
giving him, but it does make sense. He should fly if he's basically Zod's dead body and he should have laser eyes and stuff. But I kind of wish they toned it down a little bit.
You have a
Being
lot more
Scott.
history with the character because you're a comic book
Yeah,
reader.
yeah,
You've done the work. Doomsday's look on how he was regenerating with like basically the bones. I think he was getting closer to his
yeah,
look from the comics. Did you like that or
yeah. That was fine. That didn't
okay,
bother me.
not strongly either way.
I mean, I've seen it done better, and like I think Krypton did a great job with it. I've seen it just in live action done better on television, so which is kind of funny.
No, I think I'm with you though too. I'm not, and I always say this of like I kind of just want to talk about Batman whenever I'm podcasting with Bill because I just don't go to anybody else for credible knowledge before me when it comes to other characters in DC Universe. But mine, yeah, I think I'm with you of like Superman's stuff, which I was a fan of for Man of Steel. Yeah, Superman motivations,
He has
what's
like
he up
36
to,
lines,
stuff.
right?
And that's like, I don't know. I liked some of it and I didn't like some of it. Doesn't mean I didn't like him in the movie. It's just
Mhm.
if I have to pick apart, uh, that
The
wasn't
Superman
working
stuff's
for
the
me as well.
weakest.
Yeah.
It's a bummer because
Yeah.
this is Superman.
On the flip side of it, what was probably your favorite part of the movie though? What'd you like the most?
Probably anytime it was Affleck and Jeremy Irons, like Alfred.
Nice.
You know, like
Nice. Yeah.
in your dreams, Alfred.
Yeah.
Go upstairs, maybe some young girl from Metropolis will keep you honest. Like, I love
Even
Irons Alfred.
even as
You've never been too hot at lying to me.
he gives Alfred the coffee or whatever, he's like, "Oh, thank you, sir." Like I don't
Yeah,
know, something charming. He's got the voice. He's got the greatest voice. He can say anything.
I just
Um,
think the two of them together are great. Really do.
mine's definitely the Martha Rescue, or how like I think that is one of the best Batman fighting scenes ever put to film. And um,
It's up
I
there,
think if
man.
somebody wants to shit all over it, that they're
I don't
just
know how you can.
trying to be stubborn. And for some reason, even if you don't like the movie, you can't like Batman something in the movie. I think that's crap. That's
I
false. Because I think
I
that
think my
warehouse
two
scene is awesome.
favorite Batman fight scenes all time have to be it's a tie between the Martha fight scene in the warehouse and the dock scene in Begins.
Ooh,
Like, and I love how different they are and
yeah,
how different they show Batman's style of fighting. And
yeah,
I think that's why I appreciate the two of them. But I think that dock scene is so great too.
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
trying the
they
elevator scene in Forever is not bad. I don't mind that. That's a good one.
they show different aspects of the character.
Mhm.
Really leaning into the fear and the myth around Batman. That's the Doc scene, his brutality and his
Yeah, just force of
force.
nature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in BVS, I think that.
They're
Yeah,
so different, but I think they're so good. And then I'm trying to think 89 has one comparable. I don't know whether you want to give it to the church fight or the 108, whichever fight scene for that you want to give it to.
I think you weigh a little more than 108.
Yeah, I didn't know what else to call that, so that's 108.
Nope, that works.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But
Nope.
I think those two really
Yeah.
are top notch. And I can't argue with you if you go either way, but those are my
No,
favorites.
I remember hearing a critique that like Batman flat out murders people in the warehouse scene. And I was like, what? And they said he threw somebody into a room on top of a grenade, and it would blow my
I
mind. Like
actually give him a pass on that. The only
the
time I
guy
give him
crawled to the grenade
Yeah, he
himself.
covered yeah, he walked towards the grenade. The only time I give him crap in the warehouse scene is Ultimate Edition when he throws the guy against the wall and his head explodes.
That's Snyder. That's not Batman. Batman, when the guy's
No.
he's already pegged, and Batman goes in and adds insult to injury. That's when I'm like, ooh, just
Yeah.
a little bit much. And then he
So
follows that up. He shoots the canister with the gas. Um, that KG Beast for
yes,
anyone who doesn't know by now.
that's not
He
all,
didn't
I'm
kill him.
sure.
That's complete like I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. I'm going to save the innocent person here. That's what
Mhm.
that is, and I don't have
I
an issue with
actually
that
like the
either.
line he gives her. I'm a friend of your son's. Like
The cape?
well, yeah. When people complain about the humor in that movie, I'm like, well, there's a few of them in there. If you're
Yeah.
paying attention, there's
Yeah.
actually a few chuckles in that movie. It's not a very
I like
humorous
those
film.
shoes.
Dude,
Your shoes
I'm
line.
so upset that line never caught on because I was saying that so much.
I like
I
those
just say,
shoes.
I just say it to people all the time, and I still do. And everyone usually is like, "Oh, thanks." Like no one knows as a BVS
I feel like
reference.
it's right there with you pass the salt
But if you
of
know, you know.
yes, if you know, you know. The common person won't, yeah, won't pick up on it, but we'd know.
I like those
Um,
shoes.
oh, something you just said. Oh, when he, and I can't think of another spot of like patchwork here, but when Bruce or Batman's in the Batwing, um, he is exposition and saying of like, I got to get him back to this because there's nobody here in that part. Got to get him back here so I can take him out
Oh,
and get him
yeah,
back to
that's straight up Man of Steel. That's
that
straight up
is
reaction to Man of Steel.
reaction to Man of Steel,
Mhm.
and then also it's
Projectile
patchwork
too.
of
It's an
like
uninhabited island.
he might as well break the fourth wall. I'm like, hey, audience, I'm getting him back there because there's nobody there because you didn't like that there were people in Metropolis at the end of Man of Steel. Okay, back to it, Alfred. Here we go. Did you like
Which
the?
is great, but then it's followed up by like "I don't deserve you, Alfred," which is a great Batman Alfred like
Hmm.
interaction. I love that too.
Yeah. The bat. Did you like the Batwing?
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah, me
cool.
too. I thought that was cool. I like the Batmobile. It's not my favorite Batmobile.
No, but I
Uh,
enjoy it.
yeah, I liked it. I liked its style. It's
I,
another one if you look at
I
and you're
mean,
like, that's a
to be
Batmobile.
honest, all the live action Batmobiles have been incredible.
Hmm.
Obviously the '89 car is my favorite, but like I love the Forever car. I love the Batman and Robin car. The Tumbler's great. Snyder's car is great. Like I do. Reeves's car is great. Like I can't complain.
It having guns on it
Have
did
to be a
not.
huge dweeb.
I mean,
Yeah.
a Batmobile's gonna have. I don't know. That doesn't
I
bother
don't
me
know.
that it's got guns on it.
Is it because they're just out there not concealed like in '89? Like he's got two
Maybe.
machine guns on the side of the car in
And
'89.
guess what? He's 20 years in Gotham as Batman, so maybe the earlier version didn't have it, and he's like, "Shit, Alfred, we got to get some guns on this to help me get through
At
buildings."
one point, what if they were just filled with like rubber bullets and smoke grenades?
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
You
Why
know,
not?
by the time
Ooh,
Justice League comes around, he's got like flares and stuff on there and everything. You know?
reminds me of a line, rubber bullets, honest, that I read in Dark Knight Returns and didn't even touch
Mhm.
on the fact of like, obviously, if Zack Snyder's only read two comics in his life, one was Death of Superman, the other was Dark Knight Returns, because this is just s- soaked in the syrup of Dark Knight Rises, this movie. Like, even some of
Returns.
the lines that or I don't remember who said it in Dark Knight Returns, but um lines were lifted and given to, in this movie.
Hmm.
And like when Lex, even the when Lois says you're psychotic and he says that I forget exactly what he says, like too small for or too big for little minds or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
It's
like a
like
one syllable word, too big for
that's
little minds.
that's a line from Returns, like so much dialogue of Batman about Superman, Batman to Superman's
Mhm.
lifted directly from the mechanical suit, or the armor suit, whatever, that he fights Superman in. I freaking love that suit. I don't know what it
Great
is.
action figure. Dude, how many action
Huh.
figures you buy that?
I only have one because I'm like, I like this.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh
it's the one that came
man.
out at the time, the Mattel one. And I think the
Yeah.
McFarlane one probably looks better. And they've done statues and stuff, but
I
I'm
have the
just,
Mafex one as well. So I have all the Mattel figures and the
yeah.
Mafex figure.
Well, that was the Comic-Con 2014 footage leaked that Snyder brought. It was only like 15 seconds per amount that it was showing the
Hmm.
fight scene, and he just showed a little bit of that and how we saw Affleck in that suit. And I did, and I am, me, I like grounded, practical Batman, and that is direct from a comic book. And I'm like, this looks freaking amazing. I love
Yeah, that
that
was
suit.
great.
I
It
just
was
love that
great.
suit so much. I sound like a total dweeb fanboy now. I love it so much, Pete. Um, but yeah, you talked about his suit earlier, and I didn't bring up the armor suit.
What did you
Um,
think about the Robin suit? What like to me
looked
that
like
was like
Robin.
I was when I saw that, man, I honestly was very happy. As weird as that
It's so
sounds.
funny the fan speculation of how that's going to get paid off,
Never did.
and nothing, nothing. I don't know that anything was mentioned in Zack Snyder's
Snyder
Justice
cut. He
League.
said something about like you send a boy to a man's job. He made a reference to it. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah, but
Jeff Johns and his
the goat.
work on Suicide Squad referenced how Harley and
Okay.
Joker kill
I haven't
Robin.
watched that movie
But that's
in
it.
10
That's
years.
it. But that's like it's like text on a screen. It's not like verbal.
Huh. But otherwise, yeah, I was intrigued of where that was going to lead to, and in a case
Nothing.
of planted a seed that didn't get to sprout. Um, I was going to say, you mentioned fandom earlier.
Yeah.
Toxic fandom existed before Batman vs Superman, but Batman vs Superman had a
Yeah.
whole canister of gasoline that
It's
just
very
poured on
interesting.
this small fire. Um, I don't think I don't think that this movie gave birth to it, but I think it amplified more than possibly anything in nerd culture um in recent memory.
Mhm.
And I don't and no
And
there are
it wasn't even at its worst. That was next year.
yeah. And there yes, hey, you're listening to two people right now who like Batman versus Superman. Um it doesn't mean like God, what was I gonna say? You can like it and not be a toxic dick about it. You can not like the movie and not be a toxic dick. But for some reason, there was this not whoever, there was a portion of fandom that were given megaphones, and they feel like because you didn't like the movie or you had an issue with the movie, that you were the worst of the worst. And I, I, I don't know that because on that podcast with Happy Sad Confused with Zack Snyder, recently that he talked about, he seemed as if he had not seen Horowitz delicately asked about toxic fandom, with um, Batman vs Superman, and Snyder was kind of dismissive about it, I think, and he didn't. He acted as if he
He's
didn't
been
see it,
that way since day one, though.
and if somebody thinks that, they can go f themselves.
Look,
And that what he alluded to was about the money raised for suicide prevention, which I don't know anybody who would say that that is anything but a good thing
that's fine. That's
because
not what
you
anybody's talking about.
exactly just because like hey I donated to a charity down the street now I can go uh write death threats to people. I don't think that you get a free pass on that.
I mean, look, man, like anyone who thinks this guy doesn't rile up his fan base to kind of get what he wants hasn't been paying attention.
Yeah,
And he does it pretty effortlessly. So, like, good for him for having that cult-like following. Still a little weird, but
no,
if that's what you
it's
if that's
weird.
good for you, that's good for you.
Your podcast straight out of Gotham, I think it was the day before the Snyder cut was announced. You and the champion of Long Island had me on your show and we were just shooting the breeze and talked about um Snyder and his cut and everything. And back then even I was kind of like, I like most of his movies. I do. I think I'm starting to get sick of hearing him talking about his movies, though. And I think just since then and now, I'm like, I don't think I want to hear. And I just listened to a podcast where he talked about his movie, but it kind of confirmed a little bit of like there can be an interesting nugget followed by something that I'm just like, ugh, man.
Mhm.
uh, Good for you that you got to play in this great DC sandbox since
And I'm
300.
sure it's no coincidence that he goes on this podcast about a month before the anniversary of his movie when his toxic fan base is going to be all over social media telling everybody how we missed an opportunity and how James Gunn is doing the wrong thing and how we have
Yeah.
to bring back Zaddy and then Paramount's going to do it this time. And it wasn't Netflix because his Army of the Zombie movie bombed, right? It's just like it's always something, right?
Like,
Involving him and his fan base. And
do you think if
it's just funny
Nolan
because
s- created social media and started posting pictures from the Dark Knight trilogy, that there would be this mass uprising of people vocal of like, restore the Nolan verse,
I don't know.
burn
I
it
don't
down?
know.
I don't think so. So there's
Because
something that's
Nolan,
strange with
I think
the.
it's the fact that because he got fired and it was all the controversy with everything that went on personally and all that jazz, and it was just kind of lined up to be the
It
perfect
was
storm.
messy, and then and in the end, it's like the impossible did happen, in which he did end up getting to release his version. He also got $70 million to finish his version.
He
Like,
had to tell
holy
his
crap.
Joker to reach arounds.
Yeah. Um, like holy
Uh,
crap, that should have been the bow, but it wasn't. So I just kind of think
well, they like to move
for
the goalpost.
some of us, I think that are, into the pop culture stuff and everything, this is like I don't want to say fully tainted, but it comes with extra baggage that's just like we don't need this extra BS. And I think that's toxic fandom. Bill and I have never fought uh well, period. But we've never fought about Batman versus Superman or Zack Snyder's Justice League, even though he knows I like both of them and I know he doesn't like either one of them. We haven't fought about it. And so I don't know
Really, that's interesting because I
where
try to pick fights with him
you
right after
try. Yes,
Batman.
yes, yes. Oh, he just hits block and he doesn't receive any more of your texts for quite a while.
Like, God, this book sucks. What is wrong with you?
um, I'm trying to think. I think I hit most of the points that I was going to bring up and talk to you about. Like, what do you think? Do you think there's some kind of legacy with this movie? as we even get further away from 2016, when it's 25 years later, you're not going to be.
I think honestly, the legacy of BVS is we had no idea what it was going to do. And looking back at
Yeah,
it 10
good
years
point.
later, I'm completely shocked at what it did.
Yeah,
Instead of launching what we wanted, which was, some sort of cohesive, interconnected DC universe, involving our favorite characters, just turned into just duct tape and band-aids over leaks everywhere, and to
yeah.
the point where it brought Michael Keaton's Batman back. Like that's how crazy the DCU got. It started off as this wonderful idea of shared universe to the point where they were like, we need to bring back Keaton. It was like,
In 10 years' time,
crazy.
there was
Think
a
about
new Superman that ended with Nick Cage, Christopher Reeve, Michael Keaton, George Clooney, and Ezra Miller
yeah,
all being in the same movie. That
yeah,
was the DCEU.
yeah. Like
That's
it's kind of
wild.
crazy. And there's some, like you said, there's some gems in there. Like, I enjoy
Aquaman.
Blue Beetle. I enjoy Shazam. I enjoy Wonder Woman. Both of them. Aquaman. The both of them. I love the two Aquaman movies. I think
Hmm.
they're great. I love Momoa and Patrick Wilson in those movies. Like they're great. There's some.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Flash because, like I said, it was able to bring back Keaton as Batman, which I thought I'd never see again. So like I, that was great. I know he had his issues, but like artist from art, I can appreciate that movie.
Yeah.
For me, I will look back, it started something. It
Yeah.
definitely started something, and I don't hate what it started. You know,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
hate the
like
DCU. I
like
had a lot of
you
fun with the DCEU.
yeah, there's stuff in
I
there
didn't
that
have a lot of
I'll
fun with DCU fans.
yeah. There you go.
Well, you know what it was? It was there's a difference between Snyder fans and fans of DC Comics, and the Snyder fans were a little bit more toxic than regular fans, and that's just what it was. It's the truth.
Yeah.
There's some guys who teeter that line very well. You've had them on your podcast. There's some great guys out there, but there's others who are just pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Like, be brutally honest.
Yep.
That's it.
You know
You
what?
know?
You don't need you and I will not have to when we stop recording, um, say who we're talking about, and we will say the same person that
Yeah.
comes to mind on that.
Yeah. So it's just
They're
like,
out there, but better
there's some bad
left
people out
no
there.
attention.
But there's
I
some
agree.
clowns and, just kind of find their way through the weeds. But,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Criminals are like weeds. I
Yeah.
don't know if you heard that or not. We don't like freaks
That's,
dressed like clowns.
that's,
What else you got?
dude, I love
It's
freaks
poetry.
dressed like clowns. I think it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh, beautiful girl, bad habit.
And
Don't quote me. Like,
how
I
he
love that one too. I love like this drunk Wayne.
no how he shifts too, of like gosh, I just watched it, but
I
I forget
can't
it.
stay down here. I'm
Good,
afraid.
pretty girl something
Pretty
something.
girl,
Don't
bad
quote me
habit.
on
Don't
that.
quote me. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it's like he shifts from when he says that to Batman, and it's like a head turn, and then he changes a little bit. He's like,
dude,
wait,
I
which
love it
paper are you
when
from? And then he starts to get
yeah.
a little
He's like,
snappy.
do I own as the other guy? And
Yeah,
he's like,
and it's
don't
like,
believe
huh.
everything you hear, son.
Yeah, yeah,
He kind of he almost gets a little southern in there.
mhm,
He channels his inner jet.
yeah, that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I do like again like Affleck. It's a damn shame. It really is because I don't know if he just fell out of love with it because all of everything and his life was falling apart personally, but like,
I think it was
man,
personal, and then there
it's
was
a bummer.
it didn't
It's a
get
bummer.
the
I'm sure
reception
somewhat
wasn't.
professional, like as a
Yes.
creative. You're like, I signed up for this. Everyone already hates this. I haven't even made my movie. I made somebody else's movie. It's just like, what did I sign up for?
Well, and it didn't get, it's a bummer because like what you said of the good job that I think that he did, um, and then it got received pretty negative, and then like you just said, the personal life stuff which we ended up hearing about, and the onset drama, which the follow up, and then the pressure from the studio for him to direct and co-write and star in a solo Batman movie. And then he had his own movie, Live by Night, which I think is good.
I
That
enjoy that
came
movie.
in and it didn't do well at all. It was just kind of felt like one hit after another. And
He ran into a rough patch.
it's
He
not
just came off a
surprising that
hot,
it's just like I'm done.
he was
Like
on
I
top of the mountain post Argo and everything, and then
yeah,
BVS was kind of the beginning of his downfall.
yeah. But then he made Air, and that movie was pretty damn good. I don't know if you watched
Yeah,
it.
and that was the beginning of the resurgence.
Yes,
He really
he's
did have
back.
to put Batman behind him in order
He's
to get
back. He's
along.
back, Pete. Restore the Affleck verse.
God.
Is there anything that I did not bring up that you definitely wanted to bring up?
No, I feel like we covered it for the most part,
I think so too. I wanted to talk. I think we were fair. We brought up it's like negatives. Like there's two fans, but we have negatives, and I think it's fair to share those.
gripes.
Yeah.
Just again, it's just a big
Bill may
bunch
not
of what
even
ifs.
post this. He may be
Probably
like,
not.
"Oh no, it's shit," and then he'll just throw it right in the trash. Peter Lauer, you're fired.
You're fired. No more gumbo for you.
Yeah, no more gumbo. None. No more boudin, Peter. I'm gonna call the people up there in New Jersey, and there's gonna be no gumbo.
Rachel, you tell Peter he can't have any more boudin.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Oh, last thing. What'd you think of the music? Are you a big movie score guy or no?
The music's great. I mean, Junkie XL
Yeah.
and Zimmer did a fantastic job, as always. I really enjoyed this. There's a lot of great songs from what's it called? I can't remember the names right now, but the Batmobile chase was great at the docks. I love that one.
Is she with you?
Yeah, that's a great one.
I feel like I was not familiar with the name of Junkie XL. I know that he had been around.
hmm
But it was the year prior was Mad Max Fury Road. And he
Which is
did
everyone
a
says is great. I think
banger
it's
of
okay.
there's at least one track that is a banger of a track, which I think is the track of that movie. But the month before this, he did Deadpool, which I thought felt really good for the movie. It wasn't one I just listened to on my own. This is one that I bought and I listened to on my own because I do
I
like
have
quite a
Fury
bit.
Road, but I think the BVS soundtrack's better.
I do too, like from beginning to end.
Mhm.
Beautiful Lie, Is She With
Yeah.
You? Those are my two go-tos.
Also, whatever the song, it's like it's something waltz, but the song where the Gordian knot scene is great too. I have to track it down. It's not on the album. It's somebody else's music, but
What? Okay,
yeah.
well, I gotta look that up. I
I
didn't
can
even
tell
think
you.
about that.
I have it on my phone. It's like something waltz.
Okay.
I had to make a playlist so I could have all the music because it's
hmm
not on the album.
Last question for you then. How often do you revisit the movie now?
Probably like once a year.
Same. I may have missed a year since 2016, but I'm usually around once.
So it's Jazz Suite Number 2, 6, Waltz 2. Song from the Russian State Symphony Orchestra. Jeez, Peter. So that's it.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I bought on iTunes. So try searching
Jazz.
that.
Okay, read it again. Jazz Suite 2.
I'm gonna send you a screenshot.
Send me that screenshot. Okay. Because I'm gonna look it up and listen to it. And that might be added to the rotation.
Yeah, it's good. It's a Batman song, so it'll fit.
Batman rules. All right, Pete. Well, that's all I got. Thanks for once again doing the work.
It is just hey, it's fun to talk about BVS in a
With someone
nice
that's
environment.
sane. A nice environment. There you go.
Yeah, a nice environment.
Pete's not
It's
being
like,
held
oh,
up
it's
at
like
gunpoint.
I know you're not an idiot. I can
Thanks.
talk to you.
Yeah. Likewise. If there's something you want to plug, go ahead and plug before we take off.
No, you just follow me at Pete Illustrated socially, straight _O_G. It's my podcast I do with Eric Holzman. Spidey
Holzman.
Coalition. That's another podcast I do that's very late about Spider-Man. Batman on film.com-com.net.org. That's Bill
Six
Ramey's
dashes.
website. Yeah,
Make sure you
six
put six
dashes,
dashes in there.
four networks, 3 social medias. And then Batman Book Club with Ryan Lauer because I still
Heard
read
of him.
Batman. Unlike some people who stopped reading Batman.
You do a good job.
Some people
He's
who
got
only
some
read
work to
one
do.
book a month. I don't do that. I read all books.
You know,
Except for that stupid Immortal Legend Batman. That book sucks.
when I
That's
was,
how much you know. That's how you know a book really sucks because I can hate it and won't read it. But Absolute Batman, I'll hate and read. So,
and it's by choice.
yes,
You do it for me. Thanks.
yeah, because you suck.
Bill, on the last social hour I was on, and Bill said, "Don't forget the dashes." Ryan Lauer, so this is right at the top. Ryan Lauer, Peter Verra forgot them dashes once, and I go, "Yeah," and then he ended up at Olive Garden. So if any of you know what that means,
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
don't forget the dashes. All right, well, Pete does this thing where he always plugs my stuff for me in his plugs because he's just used to it. So Batman Book Club, wherever you're listening to your podcasts, follow on the socials at the Batman BC. So for Pete, I am Brian. It looks like, yep, Bill has just gotten home. So there you go, from Sammy Hagar. Announcer Rachel will take us out.
You've been listening to the original and official podcast of the Batman on Film website. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jet and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original. Batman on Film, founded in 1998.